私のスピーチのテーマはアントレプレナーシップについてです。リスクを取ることの大切さ、これを、より強調するために、あえて、リスクを取る形でですね、英語でプレゼンをスピーチをしたいと思います。お付き合いください。So, I was a typical investment banker until recently. I used to wear nice suits, all buttoned up, with a nice bright yellow tie. I was very excited. I loved to see all my deals on the front page of a newspaper. I was very proud of my work. So when I heard people speak about startups, entrepreneurs, I had no interest. It was not my business. I didn't even care. In my mind, those are for people with special charisma or for crazy risk taker. I am currently a venture capitalist, evangelist, and supporter of early stage startups and people with new ideas. I am passionate about helping new entrepreneurs and bringing real entrepreneurship to Japan. More concretely, I encourage people working in large enterprises to spin out and begin their new journey. So let me share with you a little episode of how I encountered entrepreneurship and how I transformed myself from a typical investment banker. So I met this guy, Oleg, in 2010 in business school. He was one of my classmates. At that time, he just launched his wave power venture. It's essentially using the wave motion in the sea to generate electricity. Imagine the world with no dependence on fossil fuels. Waves are there 24/7, 365 days. I got very excited about the potential of his project and decided to help him out on my private spare time on his fundraising endeavors based on my background. For this exercise, I had no hesitation but to go to China for obvious reasons. China at that time was at the height of the economic boom, and the government was all over renewable energy. And all the major cities in China was located around the coast, which made it perfect for these wave devices. So the story was perfect. But the thing was, I had no connection in China. Nothing. Zero. I didn't even speak the language. I joined Startup Leadership Program, a 6-month non-for-profit entrepreneur support program. There, I was able to meet many people, including a billionaire investor. So when this guy came into the room, I grabbed one of my classmates, fellows, and had him do the simultaneous translation. But unfortunately, my pitch didn't resonate to this guy. But one of his friends, buddies, who turned out to be a high-ranking local government official, showed interest. Well, to be precise, he said, "We don't have sea in our region, but we have rivers." I said, "Rivers? But who knows, right? Maybe the rivers in China could be huge." So we said, what the heck, let's give it a shot. The end story is that the waves were too small to generate sufficient energy. Too bad. But we didn't give up. We moved on. So I went to the US and made the pitch in front of venture capitalists in many demo days and pitch contests. But as soon as I started to speak about waves and ocean, people just stopped listening. Just too difficult. But one of the investors said, "Go to Scotland." Because Scotland is the only country in the world that includes wave power as part of their feed-in tariff programs. So we decided to immediately flew to Scotland. But to be frank, at that time, we had no idea what we can do, what's going to happen in Scotland. But at the same time, we felt that not going there, there was more risk. Upon arriving at Scotland, we carefully narrowed down our initial customer list because the market for this wave device it's blue ocean, which meant that it was literally important, very important for us to have laser focus on who the initial customer was. In the end, we were able to meet with one of the fish farms. So they breed salmons in the sea. They use diesel generators to basically feed the fish in their reserves. So we asked them, please let us try to test our prototype, and if things go well, we will just provide our device for almost nothing. And based on that agreement, we were able to secure funding from a Russian investor. As you can see, how things evolved and expanded, even in my little journey, was not about how well I planned in advance or how many people I had in my network. It was not about logic either. I think the entrepreneurial journey is about the endless finding process. It's about the encounters that invite new encounters. It's about people. It's about coincidence. It's not about science. It's about art. And that there's no single answer. What I want to emphasize is that people do change. People can change. I changed. People change based on little triggering events and small discoveries. But most importantly, people change based on the surrounding environment. I am the founding member of Startup Leadership Program Tokyo. So I eventually brought SOP Tokyo to Japan. What I tried to do is to create that environment and try to push people's back in making their first step. Some people say that my efforts in focusing on really early stage ventures just takes time and effort. It's like spraying water in the desert. But I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay because I know at the end of the day, people do change by the surrounding environment, just as I did. I don't plan to make SOP Tokyo one of the many startup events or mere educational program, but I want to make it as a platform to ignite people's passion and venture spirit. And ultimately, I want to foster innovation and entrepreneurship in Japan from grassroots. That is my passion. Thank you for listening.